All right, how's it going, guys? We're here. We got a fridge that needs charged. It's got a leak. So I'm just gonna do a quick video on how to charge it up. First, we're gonna take this piece of cardboard off. This cardboard serves a purpose to split the airflow between these two cavities. A lot of people think they're pointless, and they are not. They're on there for a reason. You can kind of see a line here. That's right here where it hits. Just helps keep the airflow right down here. So what you're going to want to look for is this line right here, this copper line. You're going to want to get a little tap, 1/4 inch, 5/16. It does either or. It comes with a little Allen wrench. Take this apart. Blur that out. All right, it comes with 2 adapters for 5/16 line. We're going to use the bigger one. It's got a little nub on the back that will kind of fit inside there. So we're just going to attach this onto here. It doesn't really matter where on the line you put it. You just want a good flat, or a good, you don't want to put it near a bend or anything like that. Yeah, these things like to fight. So I'll get all of them started. And when you tighten this down, it's kind of like when you are doing a car tire. You don't want to go in a circle per se. You want to go, in a diagonal direction, tightening it down. That way you tighten it down evenly. Just do a little bit at a time. You want this good and tight too, because these aren't meant to stay on the system. So if you're not putting it on tight, there's a higher chance and probability of it leaking. Like I said, they aren't meant to stay on the system. This is really meant to put a tap on here to evac the system out and fix the leak, but we don't have any access to in behind here where the leak potentially could be, and to fix it. So a lot of times we'll do this, and it may last a year, it may last 2 years, it may only last a month, but if it If we have an issue again, we come back to this within a month, then at that point we're just replacing this. So once you got these tightened down, the next step is to tighten this down. This is what pierces the line. So we got that tightened down. I probably should have backed that out first, because from the way that just happened, that needle must have been down. So when I tightened these down, it started piercing it. So just keep that in mind. If that needle's down through there, loosen that up first. So next step is to connect our charging hose. And plug it in. You gotta charge this with the compressor on. I'm gonna have to, well, here, I can do it over here. Maybe. The compressor has to be running. So I'm gonna open this up. And you can see this needle starting to drop. So initially it was at 20, but this will hold pressure even with it not hooked in. And once it's open, you can see we drop down. Now these should be charged to the 20 here on the gauge. And that's 20 PSI. So she's on, she's equalized out, hovering about 10, so we're low. So when you're charging this, you'll just take this and you'll open it up, and then you'll see that gauge jump. You can see it dropping pretty quick. These can kind of be stubborn on taking refrigerant. So I'll let this run, and then you can see it's dropping. This can's getting cold. So the lower the pressure, the longer it's going to take to get Freon in here. So I'm going to turn it off. And what I'm going to do is shut off that valve and run this under hot water. On a fresh can, you don't have to run it under hot water for too long, because what's happening right now is the pressure's building in this can because I'm heating this up. So the liquid is turning into vapor, which is raising the pressure in the can. If I would sit here and hold it under here forever, I could overpressurize the can, and that would be an issue. Just hook this back up. Open that up. Now you can see that pressure is much higher. You may have to repeat that process 2-3 times till you get this charged. You'd also buy the big can of Freon 134A. But we don't tend to do this very often. And it's not really the preferred way, but if this is the only problem what we're having with this unit, then we'll give that a try, because budgetary reasons, it may make this last another year, and that would just help out, you know, evening out the budget instead of having a huge unexpected expense in 1 month. So now you can see we're at like 15. I turned the can off. I'm gonna turn the can back on. Feed it some more. You can see it's dropping pretty quick. So I'm gonna have to run hot water under it again. So I'll go ahead and turn it off. Make sure you turn this off. You could try and put leak stop in the system, but my experience is all that stuff does is gum it up. And that's not a permanent fix either. So if it's going to gum up the compressor and everything, you know, you're just destroying the system faster. If this holds for a year, we're good. If it doesn't, we'll just replace it. So you can see I got everything off, and we're close to 20, but it comes down a little bit the more it equalizes out into the system. So we'll crank it back on. We're almost dead on 20. Give it some more. You want to add Freon in spurts, because if you overcharge it, then you have to evac it out. So we're dead on right there. This line should be getting cooled. And these coils should be getting warm. Yep. Let that run for a second. So it's staying at 20. So I think we're good to go. So next step would be, we'll shut off this valve, disconnect our hose. And you want to crank this valve down tight, because you don't want it leaking out. This cap has a rubber grommet in it, We make sure to put that on. Just anything you can do to help prevent it from leaking. Clean up our trash. We'll put this back cover on here. This cover is missing a couple screws, so what we'll do, since I got 3, is we'll put all 3 across the top since I got the bottom pinched in here. With this being covered back up now, it'll help keep that chamber blocked off, which will make the fridge efficient as well. I'm going to try and see if I can force one into here. Alright, so that chamber's blocked off good. I mean, this isn't going to hurt anything because it's going to get its airflow into here. That chamber's blocked off and it's going to push that airflow through there, out this hole. Make sure that's cleaned up. And then we'll just test our fridge temp. It should be, the fridge should be close to 0. Like if you're getting, you should be able to get it down to 5 degrees inside that freezer. If you're not and it's like 31 degrees or 30, you're low on Freon or there's an issue. So a lot of people will be like, oh, you know, my freezer's below 32 degrees. It's fine. It's not. It's got to be close to, you know, between 5 and 10 degrees at least. That's the video for today. Thanks.